They won't clap for you. They won't call, they won't check in, they won't care until it's too late. Until you've already done it. Alone. You gotta do it alone. In the silence. With nothing but your demons and the sick grin you wear to hide the pain. See, everyone loves to talk about loyalty, about how they'd never leave your side. But when the fire starts, they run. And you learn to burn with it. You learn to become the fire. They called you crazy when you started talking to yourself in the dark. They didn't understand the war going on in your head. And guess what? They never will. Because this journey, this climb, it's not for spectators. It's for the mad ones, the outcasts, the broken freaks who turn their scars into armor and their nightmares into fuel. They say it takes a village. Bullshit. It takes isolation. It takes late nights where your own voice is the only one that believes in you. It takes hitting rock bottom so hard your bones rattle and standing up anyway, smiling with blood on your teeth. People want to help until it's inconvenient. They want to see you win as long as they're ahead. They want to understand, but only if you're predictable, safe, controllable. So when you stop smiling for them, when you start moving different, they'll call you insane. Let them. There's a freedom in being alone, a twisted kind of power. You stop expecting love. You stop craving applause. And you start thriving in the silence. You start doing the work with no camera, no audience, no cheerleaders, just pain and the grind. I didn't need a team. I became the chaos. And you're not waiting anymore. You're building the version of yourself that no one's ready for. You're sharpening your mind, crushing your limits, alone. Because while the world sleeps, you work. While they mock, you transform. And when it's time to rise, they won't recognize the monster you've become. You were never meant to fit in. You were meant to stand alone. And if you're going to walk through hell, you might as well do it laughing. Covered in sweat, scars, and silence, with no one to thank but yourself. So embrace the isolation. Make love to the pain. Let the loneliness sculpt you into something terrifying. Because when they finally see you, it'll be too late to stop you. You gotta do it alone. And that's exactly why you'll be unstoppable. Because no one's coming. And you finally made peace with that. Now go. Do it. Alone. You made it through the first storm. Alone. But don't get it twisted. That was only the beginning. They think you're done. Now. They think you've calmed down. That you've healed. That you'll play nice. Smile at the camera. Sit at their table. But what they don't understand is the storm never left. You just learned how to breathe in it, to feast on it. You didn't just survive the fire, you became it. And now every step you take drips with the insanity of someone who's already been to hell and liked it. You see, doing it alone doesn't end when you win. It starts when you win. Because now the target's on your back. Now they want a piece of what you bled for. Now they smile to your face, but pray for your failure behind closed doors. Let them. You didn't build yourself in front of them. You don't need them now. This next level, it's colder, quieter. You'll find fewer people, fewer hands reaching out, because the air gets thin up here, and cowards can't breathe where killers are born. You're still alone, but now it's by choice. You stopped begging people to understand your pain. You stopped dragging corpses who refused to grow. You stopped explaining why you grind at 3 a.m., why your hands bleed in silence, why you smile through exhaustion. You stopped needing permission. You're not doing this for applause. You're doing it because you've seen what weakness costs. You felt what it's like to be overlooked, underestimated, discarded. And now you're the threat. You don't flinch anymore. You don't run from pain. You run into it. You hunt it. Because that's where growth hides. In agony, in isolation, in pressure. There's a darkness in you now, not sadness, power. This isn't about proving them wrong anymore. This is about proving yourself right. Every version of you that cried alone, trained alone, fought alone, they're watching, and they deserve this vengeance. So you train when you're tired. You grind when no one's looking. You evolve when others plateau. Not because it's easy, but because you have to. Because no one's coming to save you. And by now, you wouldn't let them even if they tried. You're too far gone, too deep, too hungry. You've seen what it feels like to be your own army, to rise without a hand, a cheer, a shoulder. And there's no going back. So keep going, alone. Let them stay comfortable. Let them sleep. Let them gossip and mock, and pretend they understand. And when you show up again, with blood in your eyes and steel in your bones, they'll finally see you never needed saving. You needed silence. You needed solitude. You needed the suffering. Because that's where you met the real you. And he's not coming back weak. He's coming back unforgiving, alone, always. They told me to forget, to heal, to forgive. But why would I ever let go of the very things that made me this strong? You see, they try to numb you, dull your edges, wrap your pain in pretty lies. They say, it's in the past now, move on. Move on? I feed on it. I breathe it in. Every betrayal, every cold shoulder, every laugh behind my back, I carved it into my bones. Pain is not a wound. It's a weapon. You want peace? Go hug a pillow. You want power? Good. Then stop burying your memories like corpses in shallow graves and start resurrecting them. Drag every bitter word, every soul-crushing silence back into the light. Don't run from the darkness. Dine with it. When they laughed at you, remember it. When they turned their back, remember it. When you cried in silence and no one came, remember it all. Because each time you remember, it hurts. And that's exactly the point. Pain reminds you that you're not dead yet, that you matter. And when you learn to use it, when you stop seeing it as something to escape, start seeing it as fuel, you become untouchable. They broke you? Good. Now you're free from their version of you. You want to become the monster they fear? Then stop healing and start evolving. Rebuild yourself with sharp edges. Stitch your scars into armor. Don't erase the past. Weaponize it. You were never meant to be a saint. Saints are silent, soft, and stepped on. You were born to roar. So let the darkness in. Let it sit at your table. Let it teach you. Because once you understand what they did to you, once you accept that no one's coming to save you, you'll finally become what they feared you'd be from the start. Unforgiving, relentless, and absolutely gloriously unhinged. Turn every negative memory into fire. Burn the world they tried to bury you in. And when they look at you in fear, whisper gently, "You made me this way." And smile because now you're the nightmare they created. You want to know the secret? It's not about revenge. It's about redefinition. They thought they shattered you. Thought they buried you beneath ridicule, failure, heartbreak. But they didn't know. Ashes are just the beginning of something far more dangerous. You see, most people try to erase the pain. I decorate with it. Most people try to escape their past. I build my throne on it. Every insult, a brick. Every rejection, a nail. Every failure, another step on the staircase I'm climbing. Straight to the top, where I rule with a grin soaked in madness. I don't want to be the old me. I killed the old me. Left him behind in the rubble, screaming for justice, for peace, for someone to care. But no one came. And in that silence, I found something better than hope. I found freedom. Let them have their soft little dreams and sugar-coated mantras. Let them journal about forgiveness and healing. That's not for me. That's not for us. We are the storm, now. And every time they doubted us, every time they laughed while we cried, we added to the pile of ammunition. That pain, that humiliation, that's our currency. It buys progress. It pays for power. I don't need applause. I don't need validation. I just need to remember every single moment. The look in their eyes when they walked away. The silence when you needed them most. The nights when even your own reflection looked back with disgust. Good. Let it echo. Let it sting. Because that is what wakes you up at 4 a.m. with fire in your lungs and vengeance in your veins. That's what drags your broken body back to the grind when everyone else is asleep, dreaming soft little dreams. And while they sleep, we rise, fueled by hate, fueled by truth. The truth that no one's coming, that the world doesn't owe you peace, that the only way out is through the fire. So laugh with me. Laugh at the madness, the chaos, the war inside your head. Because you're not broken anymore. You're built differently now. Turn the pain louder. Turn the voices into fuel. Turn the trauma into traction. And when they ask how you made it out of hell alive, tell them, I didn't escape it. I became it. And walk away smiling while the world burns behind you. They left, one by one, quiet exits, silent betrayals. Some slammed the door, others just stopped calling. But all of them did the same thing. They turned their backs and walked away, left me to rot in the shadows. And that's where they made their first mistake. Because I don't fear the dark. I am the dark. They thought the silence would break me, that the absence of voices would crush me. But all it did was remove the noise and reveal the truth. That I never needed them. Not their pity, not their help, not their fake concern wrapped in shallow words. Alone? Good. That's where clarity is born. They thought abandonment was a curse, but it was the gift I never asked for. Because when you're alone long enough, the monster inside doesn't hide anymore. He speaks. He trains you. He builds you. I learned to think without distraction. I learned to move without applause. I learned to suffer without screaming. And in the black, in the cold, with no one watching, I started to build, brick by brick, scar by scar. Not a house, not a home, an empire. I forged my foundation with rejection. My walls, built from every insult, every doubt, every time they said, you can't. And the crown, it's not gold. It's rusted steel from every door they slammed in my face. I don't want to come back into the light. The light is for the liars, the soft, the ones who need witnesses. Let them dance in it. Let them rot in their comfort. I've got something better. Because in the dark, there's no pretense, only raw truth. And mine is this: I was never meant to be saved. I was meant to be feared. So when they ask where I've been, tell them he didn't disappear. He was building, and now he's coming. Coming from the dark, with blood in his smile, and an empire at his back. You know what the light does? It makes people lazy. They bask in it, pose for it, smile like everything's fine, pretending. But the dark doesn't care about your performance. It strips you down, takes your pride, kills your ego. And if you survive it, you don't come back the same. They talk about healing like it's some cozy process. Scented candles, soft music, tearful apologies. Number healing isn't gentle. Not for people like me. Healing was war. It was a battlefield inside my skull. No peace, just chaos. No friends, just echoes. And in that chaos, I learned to fight. I fought every weakness, every excuse, every pathetic whisper that said, you're not good enough. And I crushed it over and over and over. No therapist held my hand, no crowd cheered me on. I broke myself apart and I rebuilt with concrete and vengeance. Not love, discipline, not comfort, obsession. They thought I'd be begging for closure, thought I'd come crawling back for forgiveness. Closure is for the weak. I don't want the door reopened. I burned the entire building down. Now I walk in silence. Not because I'm lost, but because every step I take shakes the ground. They can't hear me coming, and by the time they notice, it's too late. Because I didn't come back to prove them wrong. I came back to show them what they created. This version of me, this cold, relentless animal. They built it with every betrayal, every laugh, every time they disappeared when I needed someone. So don't feel sorry for me. Don't tell me to let go. Don't whisper those tired lines about healing and moving on. I moved through, and now I carry the darkness like a weapon. I wear my solitude like armor, and I smile. Not because I'm happy, but because I remember. And that memory, that fire, it never goes out. So when they see me now, they don't recognize me. They flinch, they whisper, they wonder what happened. Tell them this: he was abandoned, he was broken, he was left to rot, and he turned that into power. Now I don't chase light, I don't beg for love. I command my empire from the same shadows they tried to bury me in. And I dare them to try again.